Welcome to your Leadership Mastermind group for Friday, June 19th. And wow, what a beautiful energy that's coming in for us this weekend. I think you're probably starting to feel it. There's a calmness in the air and just a more sense of grounding, and we're opening up into a new moon and the summer solstice and a solar eclipse. Some really powerful energy, and it's all going to give us an invitation to go deeper into ourselves and into the changes that we've been stepping into over these last few months. Change is definitely in the air, so breathe and allow yourself to let go of your mental attachments and any energy that might be directed out to trying to remember to do certain things after this call or any just displaced energy that you might have. Let it go. I want to invite you to, for a little bit, just let go of your attachment to thinking. Let go of any attachment to discomfort and pain in your body. Begin to bring all your energy home to you. And with each inhale, imagine yourself breathing in the abundance of love. And with each expansion in your belly and your chest, with that in-breath, allow yourself to feel full, to feel the fullness of the love that is filling every morsel, every molecule, every cell within you, and consuming you with more of the perfection and beauty that you are. With every exhale, let go and share peace with all the world. And just for a few moments, cycle your fullness of your breath, breathing in more love into every space and place that you can fill, until that love is just beginning to fill your outer energy aura. With every exhale, allow it to fill even more of that energy aura outside of you. And just relax into your breath and know that you come here to a leadership mastermind group to connect to the one mind, to unite with brothers and sisters in ways that will grow you, show you, and bring you forward in what's needed for you in your own development, your own leadership. We are the leaders of ourselves, first and foremost. And if you aren't guiding your learning through all this change, it's time to take the wheel. It's time to take control, and it's time to really intentionally integrate all that you're learning and look at what it's come to change and show you. We're all changing greatly at these times. Today's focus is going to be all about emotions, and we have been on what I could call an emotional roller coaster, talking with clients and other professionals. We're all experiencing the exact same things, just different stories, different events, different situations, but basically emotions are coming up within us that need to be looked at and experienced, expressed, and allowed. What happens when we don't fully express an emotion or sit with that emotion and feel it is we bury it alive within us. We literally bury that emotion alive within us. It gets trapped at a cellular level within our being. And it comes forth later in another way, in a similar way. So these unexpressed, unprocessed emotions don't leave until they're processed. So when you think about it that way and you really understand it, we are truly self-perpetuating our own pain. By not working through our current emotions, we're literally extenuating our pain. I had a walk last night with a friend, and over and over, I heard, well, I'm still struggling with going through my move here a year ago and my divorce. And it's like, we get to choose how long we suffer in that pain. I certainly wouldn't want to be where I am, experiencing that in my life, going through this moment. It's right now where we're at, we're being called upon, we're reflecting upon ourselves, we're being forced to see it. We're either seeing it or we're making ourselves too busy and we're avoiding it. It's one or the other, because this energy is so bold, there's no denying it. So emotions are coming up for all of us, and how do we deal with them? How are you dealing with them? I know one thing, I'm becoming more and more selective of who I want to spend my time with, because I don't want to be brought down in my own energy. And we are a product of those that we spend the most time with in our reality. And, you know, some of those that we spend the most time with are either family or people that we live with. And they're constants, whether they're by choice or not. But those that you get to choose, we get to be more picky right now, because we know what feels good and we know what we want to connect with. And it's like-minded individuals that are really going to move us forward. So we're all wanting to grow, and we're wanting to move through and process these energies quickly, because we drag others down if we don't. Our heaviness of our own not dealing with our stuff is shared, it's collective. We aren't alone in our pain. If we truly understand that, the gift in us dealing with our pain isn't just for us, it's globally as well. So we really do want to help one another deal with and move through all of these emotional anguishes that we haven't allowed ourselves to process. It's like, schedule a date with you and go through them one by one. And start asking the bigger questions. How did this make me feel? And is that true? I mean, how I felt, is that true? Could that ever really be? Because you formed a story at a time in your life when you weren't even fully able to comprehend and reason and use logic and understanding. You formed an opinion at a time when you may not have been mature enough to really be forming an opinion. So the story you're telling, the story, the trapped emotions you're holding on to, are based on your level of awareness back then. If you'll take a moment and reflect on what you're needing to feel and look at it from an observer standpoint, it isn't like we need to go back and relive the painful emotion that was there, but we have to observe ourselves and how it made us feel. We have to reflect on that feeling within us. And we have to understand what it's coming to show us and teach us. We have to get curious with that part of us that needs to grow. You know, this is really our soul's journey through life, and this is the vehicle that's honoring that journey. And so much of our discord is from the egoic persona self thinking it doesn't have to deal with what the soul came to learn. That we can just stuff that aside, and I can put that forward, and I can move through my day because I'm goal orientated and I got this. And I'm here to tell you, you do got it. And you've got a big hold on those trapped emotions, and they're going to keep showing up over and over. until you process them and let them go. The funny thing about processing them is when you fully process them, there's no need to let go. The letting go happens naturally and organically. Oftentimes, as I'm processing these things, I I sit there and have to say, what did I sit here to process? Because it's literally gone. I can't even bring back the chain of thought as to why I sat down with myself to reflect here and learn and grow through this. So this is really, really a great time to go within. We've got a powerful energy cosmic force around us right now with um, the planetary positions and movements of everything coming to support planet Earth. We're really meant to go deeper. I have felt a real deep connection to the outdoors and being around nature and water, and it is proving to be so nurturing and so fulfilling and so grounding for me right now. I will be spending my weekend deeply parked within Mother Earth, Gaia, for that grounding and that feeling into what it is that I'm bringing forth in my own reality. And we all should be doing this. But we can't do that when these emotions haven't been processed, because they're going to keep coming up as we're trying to create a new. And our new creations and our new growth happens when we unclog our connection to our divine nature. So reflect for a moment, and we're going to open up the chat. We're going to break into groups of 3. And as we break into groups of 3, the reflection that you're going to bring forth is to look at emotions that have been showing up for you this week. It's those discords, it's those triggers that come up to bring us into a place where we're uncomfortable. And sometimes we're reactive in that uncomfort or discomfort. Sometimes we get quiet and we go introverted in those moments. So the first question we're going to process is, what is it that we notice in us when there's something we need to process? Because for each of us, it's different. And also, as we share with one another, we may open ourselves up to other ways that our own intuition, our own inner guidance system is seeking expression to us that we haven't been open to, because we think we know, or we think we've got it figured out, or we think we've got a process or program that's working for us. So I'm here to be the first to tell you, if you're still operating on the same program that you had in January, you haven't updated your operating system. And that's a scary thought. We've changed. And if you aren't changing and growing with it, it's time to really reflect. So first of all, the first question is, how do we notice? What's our first awareness to how we notice? And then 2, what you do with it. And I'm going to give each group 5 minutes to discuss this. So you each have about a minute and a half to about 90 seconds. And it'd be really nice if you watch your own time, if you set a timer for yourself so that it's fair and everybody has their own opportunity to share. So be short and be brief. Don't be too wordy, but be authentic and direct enough that others can sense and feel how you, tune into those energies of your emotions that are coming to share with you a gift, because it really is a gift. And that's the other thing, we label this as bad, and that makes us not want to deal with it. And I'm the first one to say, let go of the labels. The labels are holding us back. The labels are keeping us from moving through certain things in life. So the first thing is let go of labels. Is it really bad? Why is it bad? Why are we labeling it bad? What if it was good? What if it was actually the best thing you could do right now? What if by moving through this energy, what if the label you're giving bad is actually the best guidance to take you where you need to go to have the greatest growth in your life right now? What if it will bring you the most freedom, the most peace, the most joy, the most connection, the most alignment? You know, each one of us is on our own journey, and we're all called to look at what's coming up in front of us, and it's showing up for us in the form of our emotions right now. Mercury just went retrograde, so we're called to do our own communication at a deeper level right now, meaning any inner work you do is amplified for greater success more quickly and more easily. If you don't use Mercury retrogrades to their best advantage, Mercury retrogrades will use you. And I love that we have this potential to tune into these energies, because it's in tuning into them that we allow ourselves to work smarter, not harder, in our journey to life. So let's get ready to break off into groups. Again, you're going to be first going into that first question, right? What do I notice, you know, when an emotion in me is showing up for me to look at? And then what is my natural response? And if it's not what you want it to be, what will you be changing it to going forward to deal with and process these things immediately, and not allowing them to fester any longer? So we'll adjourn for 5 minutes. I'll see you back on the other side as we break off into groups of 3. Wow, what a great breakout that was. There were quite a few different topics and emotions and sharings going on. A few of the common ones that seemed to be a thread through the different breakout rooms was using techniques that you've learned along the way as a tool to help you release these emotions more quickly. Some of that is energy work, some of that is tapping, emotional freedom technique, where you tap different parts of the body to bring yourself to releases. These are like meridian points that your body has that release tension and the blocks and the attachments you've had to these different emotions. And another one was breath work. I can't say enough about soma, or sound techniques used with breath that release a lot of trapped emotions in beautiful, harmonious ways. I actually recommend to all my coaching clients and give them a free session or two to really introduce them to the power of this vibration of sound and healing and breaking us free of trapped emotions. So it was beautiful. Another one was a sharing where they said that I just allowed the discomfort, the pain in me to get so big, so bold, and as painful as it needs to be before it falls away. I just sit with the energy and I say, yes, I feel that. I feel that. Being so certain not to be labeling it as bad, right? Not to give any meaning to it, to just be with it. Be with it and feel it without giving meaning or a label to it. Observe, just observe. Just noticing what it feels like, where in the body you feel it, and then you can start to get curious about the why. Don't force anything, just allow it to come to you. And as I do, she says, as I do this, I feel as though it's me setting up my own little ritual that I've given meaning to say that this is how I allow these emotions to bring me all that they had to bring so that I could learn what it is that they came to teach me and stop perpetuating my own pain and agony in life. And when I heard that, I was like, that is a way to really describe it. There are so many ways to describe it, but until you begin to go on your own journey to feeling your emotions, you won't know. And the other thing I will say is our tools that we use to aid us along our journey, they change at every new level of growth. They have for me, and they have for all my clients, and they have for everybody I talk to, and anybody that's on a spiritual journey. Every new level of consciousness that you begin to operate from comes with a whole new set of programs and operating system to operate from. And all of this needs to be reintegrated into who we are on an emotional level, on a mental level, a physical level in our body, and a spiritual level. So we are learning and growing and bringing all of us along through this journey, but we're having to learn new things and adapt them into all that we are. And part of us going forward here is going to learn how to process our emotions naturally. By doing the work and going back to release these, and we're giving ourselves an abundance of teaching our subconscious a new way to operate in the new earth for us. And it's teaching ourselves and our future generations to deal with emotions, to allow them to move through us, that we don't need to label them. So often, if we're labeling them anything outside of us, we're coming from a lower level consciousness that isn't fully grasping what this moment came to share with us. So I hope you've enjoyed that first part of the exercise, and we're going to be going into step 2 in just a moment, but I want us to come back together in a group for a moment, and I want us to go into a big sharing. So we'll go 3 minutes, 3 people each in the groups. We seem to have the right number today for 3 each. And as we break off into groups of 3, this time you're going to share your biggest win from last week, where you feel and have taken yourself to a new level of confidence and a new level of being. This new you, this new growth that you've spotted, that you've become more aware of, that you've reflected on, that you really began to integrate now into becoming a new permanent part of you. So let's break off into that, and this will be the middle section of our call, and then we'll come back for one more session, taking our emotions a little bit deeper. I'll see you on the other side.